Sponsored by Element. This is a full body vibration plate. I'm kind of obsessed with them, and I've been using this one for the past 6 months. Hey guys, it's Robin and welcome to the Science of Self-Care. On this channel, we talk about health science, we talk about life philosophy, and we do a whole lot of self-care experimentation. I'm very excited for today's video because we're finally gonna talk about my 6-month review of my vibration plate. And for those of you wondering what a vibration plate is, it's essentially a device that has a plate that vibrates, as the name suggests, but it usually has up to 3 motors that do micro vibrations in different directions. One goes up and down like this, one goes side to side like this, and one oscillates like this. It's doing this really fast micro vibration in all these 3 directions, and by doing that, if you stand on this plate, those vibrations ripple up through your body, through your muscles, your ligaments, your bones. You basically vibrate and jiggle in places that you might not have known that you could even vibrate or jiggle. It's a very unique sensation. Some people love it, some people don't like it that much. I remember the first time I tried this 2 years ago at CES, the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. I stepped on one and was immediately addicted. It was so amazing. It felt so good in my body and my mind that I knew I had to own one of these at some point. Here we are, I own one and I love it and have a lot of thoughts to share. The first thing I'll say is test one out at a local gym or a health clinic. You can usually find one somewhere in your area. Test one out and see if you like the sensation, because if you don't like the sensation, the likelihood that you're gonna be using this consistently and reaping the benefits over time is gonna be very small. I've divided this video into a few parts to kind of manage my thoughts. This first part, we're gonna talk about a few science-based benefits that there's actual literature on. We're gonna review a few studies, and I'll link it all down below so that you can refer back to the different things I touch upon, and if you wanna do more research, you can. The next part of this video is going to be me talking about my personal experience using it for 6 months. There were certain expectations I had that were met, some that were not, and I also had some experiences that I wasn't expecting at all. So I'm gonna share all of that. And then I wanna end this video talking about who I think these devices would be amazing for and who might be disappointed by one of these devices. If you're in the market for a full body vibration plate, this is definitely the video for you. Let's get started. What does the science have to say? Before we dive into specific studies, I just want to remind all of us that an absence of evidence and an absence of research does not necessarily mean that something doesn't work or that there is no benefit. It just means we need to research it further, and I definitely think that whole body vibration plates could use more research. There's a number of points here that have been lightly researched or researched in small sample size studies. In general, we're going to need to do more research as a society to really understand how these work in the body. That said, there are several studies on how full body vibration plates can help our bone health, specifically our bone density. So our bones are always remodeling. They're experiencing resorption, where our body takes minerals and molecules out of our bones, making them less dense, and bone formation, where we're actually putting things inside our bones, making them more dense and more strong. As we get older, our bodies tend to resorb the bones more and our bone density decreases, especially for postmenopausal women, because the decline in estrogen that coincides with menopause also changes the balance of bone resorption and bone formation in our bodies. A postmenopausal woman will experience more bone resorption and less bone formation. So it's very important, not just for women, but for all of us, that we continue to take care of our bone health into our old age. Not only because our bones become weaker, but also because if we do become injured, it's harder to recover when you're older. Dr. Peter Attia talks about this in his book, Outlive. I highly recommend reading this book, but he basically talks about how a very intense injury at an older age can basically result in a downward spiral of health that may be ultimately impossible for someone to recover from as they lose bone density and muscle mass with age, and then they become immobile and it causes a bunch of health problems. So that's why it's really good to be proactive as we age to work on our bone density. density. Next, there's some research on muscle recovery and the lactate levels in our muscles. As we all know, when we work out intensely, our muscles can become very sore and stiff. And this is because of the lactate that's produced in our muscles when we're really working them hard anaerobically. But there's research to support that these plates can actually help clear lactate out of our muscles and help our muscles recover faster. So there's a study that looked at people who were doing intense exercise, and half of them used a vibration chair afterwards, and the group that used the full body vibration chair experienced a much greater and significant reduction in their lactate levels than those who recovered without the vibration. So science says this can help with muscle recovery. The next thing that science supports is that these plates are great for joint health. I specifically have a paper here on knee osteoarthritis, where basically whole body vibration reduced pain, improved physical function, and enhanced muscle strength in knee osteoarthritis patients. So I will again link that study down below. To me, this does make sense. If it's giving you micro vibrations, helping blood flow to your joints, massaging the fascia and the ligaments, it makes sense that that would improve joint pain. I will definitely touch upon these points in my own experience as well, but science says good for joints. There are also studies on how these full body vibration plates can help older individuals. I touched upon this earlier, but again, as we get older, we experience not only a loss in bone density, but a loss in muscle mass called sarcopenia, and it's a lot harder to hold on to our muscle mass as we age. This machine can help stimulate muscles in a very gentle way. So even someone who's much older and maybe not as mobile as they used to be, they can still stand on one of these plates and stimulate their muscles. So there is research to support the benefits of muscle stimulation in older adults. And lastly, I also looked at a systematic review that discussed whole body vibration and cognitive function. It seems like there's potential for whole body vibration to be beneficial for cognitive function in both healthy individuals and people with cognitive impairments. It does need to be more thoroughly researched, but the idea is just that increased blood flow to the brain can improve cognitive function, and there is some evidence to support that in this systematic review, which I will also link down below. Okay, so that's a quick run through of some things that I found in the literature. Now I want to discuss my personal experience. How did I feel after 6 months of using this? How do I feel today? I used it earlier today. I have a lot of thoughts. So to start off, let me talk about a few things that I found related to the scientific literature that we just discussed. I 100% have experienced the improvement in muscle soreness and stiffness. I do a lot of hot yoga, and hot yoga can be very intense. I could, in theory, come back with very sore muscles, and I have in the past. But now that I have this machine, I pretty much avoid having sore and stiff muscles. It really does help clear out any lactate from the muscles, and I continue to feel good, and because of that I can recover more quickly from my workouts and continue to do more workouts and just feel really good in the process. So this has been an amazing amendment to my hot yoga practice that has just helped me feel really good in my body. Another amendment to my hot yoga practice that helps me feel really good in my body is actually the sponsor of today's video, Element. Element sells amazing electrolyte blends that have no sugar, they're not full of junk. I use these every single time I go to yoga, and without them, I get crazy headaches. I feel terrible. With them, I feel amazing. I don't have headaches. I feel hydrated, and my electrolytes are just replenished after these really sweaty hot yoga sessions. It sounds dramatic, but I would not be able to do hot yoga without Element. These electrolyte packets are going to be great for anyone who does a lot of intense exercise where you're sweating a lot and losing all those electrolytes, or if you're someone who does a lot of hot saunaing. Element makes it so easy to replenish those electrolytes and to do so in a very healthy way. Very simple, quality ingredients. I love them. It's also literally so delicious. You have to try them to understand how delicious they are. Raspberry chocolate, raspberry salt, watermelon salt is so good. Those are some of my favorite flavors. Right now, Element is offering my viewers a free sample pack with any order. That's 8 single serving packets free with any Element order. This is a great way to try 8 of their flavors or share Element with a salty friend. Get yours at drinkelement.com/selfcare. This deal is only available through my link, so you have to go to drinklmnt.com/selfcare. Now let's get back to vibration plates. Another benefit that I've personally noticed related to the scientific literature is the relief of back pain and joint pain. I have always had a back issue. My sister has this as well, where I stand like this. This is not how your back is supposed to stand. This is how you are supposed to stand in your pelvis and your back. And for whatever reason, I am prone to extending my back. Maybe it's a lack of core strength, I don't know, but I hang in my back. That's what my old yoga teacher used to call this, when you hang in your back. Because of that, I used to get really bad lower back pain, which is crazy because I'm relatively young. Since using this plate, I never have lower back pain, and I'm actually able to stand with my pelvis in the correct way. Any sort of imbalances in the way that we're standing start at our feet. By vibrating kind of up from the feet all the way up the body, how I experience this is it just kind of vibrates and jiggles everything into the correct position. And my sister is actually the one who noted that my posture had really improved, and I agree, it really has. More importantly than how it looks, it feels so good, no back pain. Another thing that I've noticed is my circulation is so much better since using this machine. This machine helps stimulate blood flow by vibrating all of your body. It's kind of like a massage through vibration, and because of this stimulated blood flow, I notice my extremities, my hands and my feet, the areas of my body that typically have struggled with circulation. You know, I'm very long and tall. They don't have any issues anymore. I feel like the clarity of my skin on my legs and my arms is much brighter because they're getting more blood. Another funny thing you might notice if you use these machines is that you can get very, very itchy. So I used to get itchy at the end of every session. Now my tolerance has kind of built up. But the reason you might experience itchiness is because of this increased blood flow. Your skin is getting more blood flow than usual, and that is actually triggering neurons in your skin that make you feel an itchy sensation. So this is not a bad thing at all if you start to feel itchy using one of these machines. It just means your skin is getting a little more blood flow than usual. As you use it more, you become less itchy. But if I stand on this thing for 20 minutes, I'm likely to feel itchy. Okay, so I'm now showing with shorts, you can see what's happening to my legs. Every little piece of tissue in my legs is being vibrated. Basically, however you place your body on this machine will direct where the vibrations are going to. Right now you can hear it's going more into my face and my chest because you can hear it in my voice. But if I bend my legs, it's more stopping in my legs. If I bend over forward, it's going more to the front of my body. If I bend more backwards, it's going more to the back of my body. So you can really direct where you want the vibrations to go based on your position on the machine. Another funny thing I've noticed that I've never seen any sort of research on, or I've never even heard anyone talk about, but this thing really helps stimulate bowel movements. More often than not, when I use this thing, I go to the bathroom right after, and it's not in a bad, urgent way like an IBS, oh my god, I need to go to the bathroom. It's in a very comfortable, like, my digestion has been stimulated, my bowels have been stimulated, and now I can go number 2. I personally really like that. It feels comfortable, it feels good. I don't struggle with constipation, but perhaps if you are someone who struggles with constipation, this might be able to offer you some relief. Again, it makes sense. It's just kind of micro massaging all the little areas of your body, including your digestive system and your intestines. It makes a ton of sense that that would get your pooping going. I'm curious if anyone else has experienced this because I've never read anyone on the internet talking about this, but it's definitely noticeable for me. Another benefit that I've noticed is definitely cognitive benefit. I love to step on this machine when I'm feeling like I'm in a rut. And this happens to me typically in the late afternoon. My head is kind of foggy, my energy is low, I'm just feeling antsy. It's basically just like a release of tension, a sudden shift in my physical and mental state. It's a mental and physical pick-me-up. I don't know how else to describe it. And I feel like it also offers mental clarity. Sometimes I'll answer emails on there. To me, it's a little bit similar to how I can think more clearly when I'm walking. Just this diffusive movement of my body, this physical movement, for whatever reason, it helps me think more clearly. It helps me feel better. It improves my mood. I love it. And it's a wonderful pick-me-up that doesn't involve any caffeine or any sort of substance. Just stand on it for 10 minutes, and if you like the sensation, you'll feel a lot better. Now let's get into a few benefits I was expecting to notice based on the marketing claims that I've read about these plates that didn't really pan out. The first one is cellulite reduction. So the back of my legs are the most cellulite-y part of my body, and my butt right here. I'm not gonna post the pictures because I don't want this video to be demonetized, but using this machine has not really made a difference to my cellulite. Cellulite is very normal, especially for women. They're more likely to have it than men. It's a totally normal thing, but I had read a lot of marketing materials on how this would reduce cellulite. Now, my cellulite isn't extremely bad, but it just hasn't improved and hasn't changed. I do think my cellulite has improved compared to 5 years ago, but that has not so much to do with this plate, but has more to do with just general lifestyle choices I've made, like walking a lot. I do think the improved circulation of this machine probably could help to some degree, but it's just not a noticeable change. Another thing that I haven't noticed is a major change in my body composition. And what I mean by that is I haven't noticed that I've lost a lot of fat or gained a lot of muscle. And there are, again, a lot of marketing claims on how you can lose a lot of fat and gain a lot of muscle. I think if you're someone who is sedentary and you were to incorporate this into your life, you might be able to build a little bit of muscle because it is stimulating your muscles by standing on it. But I'm someone who leads a quite active life. Adding this in hasn't really been a workout for me. It's been more of a recovery tool and almost a type of therapy. I don't do workouts on it. You can turn it into more of a workout tool by doing planks and lifting weights and having kettlebells and lunges and push-ups on the machine, and that can add an extra layer to your workout, an extra muscle stimulation as you're working out. And then, I could imagine you seeing extra benefits. For me personally, I just didn't notice a difference in my body composition. Something I'm really interested in, but did not yet have the opportunity to test properly, is what this machine does to blood sugar. So there's a lot of research to show that going for a walk after a meal helps blunt a blood sugar spike. I'm really curious if using this machine after you eat a carbohydrate-rich meal, if that will help blunt the blood sugar spike, just like a walk would. I haven't had the opportunity to properly research this with my continuous glucose monitor, but it's something that I imagine could potentially help with blood sugar management. So I will continue to experiment and test that theory. Now let's talk about who I think this machine is for. I think this is a great machine for postmenopausal women and older adults who are looking to improve their bone density and maintain their muscle mass. This is such an awesome tool to just have in your home. It's easy to use. It's easy to store under a bed. I typically have mine under my couch, which is very convenient. Most of these plates will fit under a bed or a couch, so it's very easy to have accessible and ready in your living room or bedroom, but you can tuck it away so it's not an eyesore or that no one's tripping on it. Anyways, that was a bit of a tangent, but for older adults who may not be able to move as much as they once were able to when they were younger, I think standing on one of these plates is a very simple and approachable way to get some extra bone and muscle support into their routine. I've actually convinced my mom to get one because I'm so obsessed with them, and she now uses it every single day. In the evening, she does Duolingo for 10 minutes on her machine, and she's very adamant about doing things for her bone health. She also takes special bone pills to support her bone health, and she was actually hit by a car last year, crazily, while she was on a scooter, and she didn't break any bones. So she's my idol in terms of taking care of my bones. So now my mom is using one of these every single day, and I think she also really likes it. It's just fun to use. I think most people really love the sensation. I also think this machine is great for anyone who experiences joint or back pain. There's research to support it. It's something I've personally experienced. If you are continuously struggling with joint or back pain, I definitely look into purchasing one of these machines. And lastly, another group that I think would really benefit from one of these are people who are a bit hyperactive. So I would consider myself in this category. I can't sit still for too long. I go crazy. I honestly get depressed if I sit still for too long. Moving my body makes me happy. It helps me think clearly. It just brightens my day. If I need to pick me up in the afternoon, standing on this really helps. I feel so much better afterwards. Some people who might be disappointed by this machine, I think, are people who are hoping to lose large amounts amounts of weight through using this machine only. I think this machine is a great addition to other types of movement, or even a starting point. If you're just starting to get back into movement after an injury, or if you're just starting your weight loss journey, this might be a great option to ease into movement and get your body going. But I ultimately think to see real results with weight loss and with muscle mass increase, you're gonna need to combine this plate with other things. The other group that I think might be disappointed by this are people who expect to see a large reduction in cellulite. I haven't seen that personally, but maybe some of you in the comments might say otherwise. Again, all of our bodies are so unique, and some people are more prone to getting cellulite than others. I definitely have always had cellulite, and I think I always will have cellulite. If you're hoping for this to get rid of your cellulite, I don't think it will. But all in all, I am kind of obsessed with this. A few things on the device itself. I have a Life Pro Rumblex Pro. I will put a link in the description. Life Pro is a very reputable, reliable brand when it comes to vibration plates. I'm very happy with this one. If you are looking and perusing, this is the most expensive at-home model they sell, I believe. It's around $500, but they also have models at $300, $200, even $100. But just pay attention to what you're buying, because the models at $100 to $200 usually don't have all three types of motors, again, going like this, and like this. I want the full-fledged benefits. I want all three types of vibration, and I like to put the setting to maximum strength, and I do that for 10 minutes, and I just feel reborn afterwards. Maybe you want something a little more gentle, so maybe one of the cheaper models might be helpful for that. I know my sister has the Life Pro Rumblex Max, and I think she really likes it, and she actually got her plate after visiting me and trying this plate.
Ooh, it's itchy. My thighs are itchy.
How are you feeling after the vibration plate 2 hours ago?
It's like a feeling of ease in movement. It did what I try to do with stretching routines. This was much more effortless and efficient. Got rid of all the stiffness. It jiggled me up.
One thing that's kind of annoying about this machine, and I've noticed it in other types of machines as well, is that it's quite easy to accidentally hit the touchscreen and turn off the vibration plate. So if I accidentally move my foot like this, I've just turned off the vibration plate. As you can see, you will accidentally turn it off, and then you have to redo the settings. One con of many at-home devices that I've seen is that they don't have the best interface here. It's usually unnecessarily complicated. You have to push a bunch of buttons. I wish it could just remember my favorite setting and I could save it in one single button, and then I could just turn that button on every single time, and maybe even lock the interface so that it wouldn't turn off if I accidentally put my foot or my butt on it. I would love to know your thoughts on vibration plates. Have you used one? Do you own one? What have you noticed in your body? All of our bodies are gonna be different, so we're also all going to experience this tool differently, and we're gonna get different things from it. Please share down below. I learned so much from you guys. I think you learn a lot from each other. It makes me so happy to have these discussions in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for your patience with this video, and I look forward to seeing you next time.